You made it. Have a seat and make yourself at home. I have something special that I want to show you. Tell me, what is one of the greatest things in this already wonderful world? Coffee. It's such a wonderful drink to talk over or enjoy with a good book. It's serene, inspiring, and its own art form, if you're doing it right. I'm excited to introduce the Casabrews 5700 Gense. With this, I can make my favorite coffee anytime I like, whether it's a cup for the road or a delightful drink at home. This machine can do them all, saving me time and money on one of my greatest passions. This is it, one of the most powerful semi-automatic espresso machines on the market. It comes with a grinder, extractor, frother, making this an all-in-one machine that is perfect for bringing the complete barista experience right to my home. It comes with all the essentials like cleaning accessories, filter baskets, portafilter, milk jug, espresso distributor, and much more. There's not a single detail left out of it. Incredible, isn't it? As much as I'd love to jump in and make that cup of coffee for us, we should do a quick wash of all the parts and accessories and get everything cleaned and fresh to use. But we recommend not to wash the bean container directly. Instead, I'm going to clean it with a damp cloth, then go over it with a dry one. Beautiful. Now that everything is air dried, let me fill the water tank to the fill line and install back onto the machine. Next, I'll set up the bean container and pour in some of my favorite coffee beans. Finally, I'll add the grind cradle, and it's that easy. I hope you're ready, because now we get to the fun part. Let's press the power button. The lights on the machine will blink while warming up, then turn solid when it's ready to use. Shouldn't be more than 23 seconds. Now we can start making that cup of coffee. The grinder in the machine has 15 grind settings, which affect the size of the coffee ground. Too fine and you end up over-extracting the flavor. Too coarse and you'll under-extract, missing out on all that coffee goodness. Different coffee beans will require different grinding settings. I'll set it to 8 for now, because that's what's suggested to start out with, but we can adjust that later to your preference. Before placing the portafilter into the grind cradle, we need to choose whether to use a single sieve or double sieve first. Let's choose the double sieve. Now place the portafilter into the grind cradle, and with a gentle push, coffee ground will start filling up the portafilter. You can use the espresso distributor, which comes with the package, to evenly redistribute the coffee ground, providing a flat bed to tamp on. Now watch, because this is a step they do at the coffee shops that most people miss out on. Tampering. I'm going to use the coffee tamper and press the coffee grounds until they're good and firm. This means that the water is interacting with the coffee longer and running through the entire cake of grounds. This combination of time and distribution results in a fuller flavor for the espresso shot. This will help us get out all those delicious flavors. Now it's time to brew. Install the portafilter into the brew head. Place a coffee cup under the portafilter. You can choose either a single shot or a double shot. Let's choose a double shot, as we have put the double sieve into the portafilter. Just wait for several seconds. Oh, look at that. The espresso looks thick and warm. Let's take a sip. Oh, the temperature is just right, and you can feel the naturally sweet finish. That is what I would call a perfect cup of espresso. You can only get that espresso with the right balance of coffee ground size, suitable tamping, brewing temperature, and correct pressure. Do you want to know a secret? I used about 12 grams of grounds per cup of coffee. That's good for a nice single cup, but around 18 to 21 grams will make a divine double cup. I might adjust the amount next time to make it a bit richer, but that's just my preference. Then there's the temperature. On the 5700 Gense, it's easy to adjust the temperature thanks to the PID temperature control technology. I found that you want to brew espresso between 90 and 96 degrees Celsius. I've had coffees botched from being brewed at too high or too low of a temperature, but judging by the taste of this cup, the machine's temperature was right on the money. Another thing that I'd like to highlight, you can't forget the heart of the espresso machine, the pressure pump. That's what gets the water to push through those finely packed grounds and get all those rich flavors to come with it. The 5700 Gense is equipped with an Italian-engineered pressure system that gives the stable and powerful force it needs for perfect espresso extraction. With a powerful 20 bars of pressure, you'll get a perfect cup of espresso every time. I see that gleam in your eye. You want to know more of my espresso secrets, don't you? I do have a few more tips for taking espresso brewing to the next level. Here's another tip to make your espresso even better. If you want your espresso even hotter, you can try this tip out by preheating the machine before brewing. Install the portafilter to the brew head without the coffee grounds. Put the coffee cup that will hold the hot water under the portafilter. Press the single cup or double cup option and use the machine to boil the water once. This will let the high pressure water flow through the interior of the machine, the brew head and portafilter. This way, next time when you brew, the temperature of the espresso will not be affected by the cold stainless steel material of the machine, and that will give you an even hotter cup of espresso. Of course, the easy way to elevate an already perfect cup of espresso is with rich, creamy milk foam. There's a steam knob that we can set to preheat. While that's working, I'll pour some milk into the frothing pitcher. Any kind of milk will do, but 3% will give you an even richer foam. When the preheat light stops flashing, that means the steam wand is ready for frothing. Now you need to place the tip of the steam wand just under the surface of the milk, about 1 to 2 millimeters. And I usually hold the milk froth pitcher like this so I can feel the temperature of the milk. Let's turn the steam knob to the max and we can start frothing the milk. So after frothing for a while, you can feel the pitcher slowly getting warmer. And when it feels just a little hot and you can only hold on to it for about 3 to 5 seconds, that's how you know the milk is perfectly frothed. After you're done, don't forget to turn the steam knob off and clean the steam wand. Don't worry about the excess steam, it's perfectly normal. The machine releases that automatically from the bottom. Now it's time to pour the milk froth into the espresso. And now you can start practicing latte art at home as well. Let's try it. Not bad, is it? But that's not all this machine can do. The 5700 Gense comes with a grinder memory function. Once you make a cup of coffee that suits your taste, the grinder remembers what amount of grinds you like and uses the exact same grinding time for your next brew. To use this feature, gently tap and quickly release the grinding switch, and it will start grinding using the memory time. By default, the grinding time is set to 14 seconds. To change it, just activate the grind switch for more than 5 seconds and continue to let it fill up to your desired amount. When the grind switch is activated for more than 5 seconds, the machine will remember the grinding time for the current session. Once you get that perfect memory, this function will be fantastic for letting you replicate it as much as you'd like. Not to mention, it's so convenient that you don't have to keep holding onto this portafilter for grinding every time. Now you know all my secrets about making the perfect cup of espresso with the 5700 Gense espresso machine. The fun really begins. Just be creative on brewing with different drinks like cappuccinos, Americanos, lattes, or even espresso martinis. With the 5700 Gense espresso machine, you can unleash your coffee talent. That's what I know about making a perfect cup of coffee. But that's not all. This is an absolutely gorgeous piece of machinery, And it's just as important to keep it clean, to keep it running properly, so we can keep making perfect cups of coffee for a very long time. For the exterior, I like to start wiping the outside with a damp cloth, then use a dry one to clean the exterior. To activate the interior cleaning process, you can follow 4 steps. Firstly, you need to pour out the water from the water tank and fill it with some descaler for espresso machine. Add some water to mix them together. Unfortunately, we don't sell descaler for espresso machine at the moment, but these descalers can be easily found in local stores or online. Just search descaler for espresso machine and then you will find lots of options. And it normally costs around $15 for a year of use. Step 2. Place a container under the brew head and on the steam nozzle. Step 3. Switch on the espresso machine. And finally, press on the hot water button for 5 seconds and turn the steam volume controller to max. You will notice the hot water button light is turned off and the buttons of single and double will start flashing. That means your 5700 Gense begins its self-cleaning process, and this will last for 15 minutes. And we suggest descaling your machine every 2 to 3 months for best results. Couldn't be easier. Now, let's clean the grinder. The grinder is a vital piece in an all-in-one espresso machine, so taking care of your grinder properly will help keep it making espresso the way it should for years to come. Let me show you how to properly clean your grinder right now. Start by turning the bean container counterclockwise and pulling it upward, just like this. Then press the release button, this little red button right here. And keep turning the grinding mechanism counterclockwise to release it. And you should be able to remove it by pulling it down. But remember to remove the grinder from your 5700 Gense with caution to avoid dropping and possible breakage. In the event of breakage, use one of the enclosed extra grinders. That's right, we have prepared 2 grinders along with the machine. Now let's turn the grinder upside down and rotate the coffee distributor clockwise to release it from the grinder, just like this. There's a cleaning brush that comes with our kit. Use it to clean all accessible parts of the grinder and the coffee distributor carefully. All right, after you're done cleaning, let's place the coffee distributor back to the grinder by rotating it in a counterclockwise direction. There you go. One thing to note here, the grinder won't be able to operate if the coffee distributor is not installed into the grinder correctly. And here, let me show you how to install the grinder back into the machine. First, aim this white line here at this little triangle icon. Gently push upward as far as it can go and hold the grinder in this position. Now, you may turn the dial in a clockwise direction all the way until you feel some resistance. Just turn a little more and you should hear a click sound. Take a look at the grinder indicator. If it appears to show white light, you have installed the grinder correctly. Last but not least, let's install the bean container back onto the machine. Just make sure all the parts need to be completely dried out before putting them back. If there's any moisture inside, it'll lump up the coffee and clogs the system. I think that looks pretty good. Super simple, right? To keep the machine running in prime condition, clean your coffee grinder every 2 weeks. However, if you're grinding every day or using oily beans, you'll want to clean your grinder about once a week. When your coffee grinder is clean and dry, it will stay fresher longer and it will keep your coffee tasting delicious. Hope you don't mind my excitement. There's still so much I can't wait to try out and experiment with. When amazing coffee is this simple, it truly inspires you. And I hope that when I make my next cup of coffee, you'll be right there to enjoy it with me. Happy brewing, my friend.